All right. Hey guys, what's up? It's Solo, and today we are back here on Destiny because, well, I want to talk about Destiny, of course, and the This Week at Bungie that came out. And I know I'm not covering this on Friday like I normally do. I've been kind of going on and off with uploading, and I know that. And like I said, it's mostly been Destiny, and I was going to try to record No Man's Sky last night, but there was a funny story, which you guys will probably hear about in my first No Man's Sky video, that ended up basically crashing my game multiple times, and it was dumb. It was funny, but it was dumb. But yeah, so let's get into the thoughts about public events and, of course, public vendors, or aka destination vendors. Because if you guys don't know, in this most recent collab they said that they are going to be taking away destination materials as a requirement for not only crafting items but also just in general. They'll no longer drop from any of the places, and if you do get resource nodes, they give you Glimmer instead. And basically now Raul is going to be giving you, I think it's 5,000 Glimmer for a stack of 20, I want to say. Which this brings to the question, why is Bungie doing this? Well, if you guys have never played, like, I guess, traditional MMOs, you kind of be confused on why Bungie is doing this. Most MMOs have a thing where they don't want their MMO to be too super complex. And with planetary materials, it made it that extra limit of sometimes you need the most randomest planetary material to level stuff up. And we saw a big issue with this in Destiny 1 because it took forever to get certain planetary materials. And in Destiny 2, planetary materials kind of became mundane to the point, like, if you look at my inventory right now, well, you know, once it decides to load, I have 1,600 helium filaments, 1,700 data lettuce. Yes, I call it data lettuce. And then, like, 2,400 spin metal, 1,700 glacial stalwart. Like, there's really no actual reason to have them besides getting Glimmer. And since they're upping the Glimmer, and I know this is a big thing because everybody is talking about how, you know, public events are also mundane, which is true because usually public events are very, very one and done, and then you wait and then go to the next public event. And there's no variety in public events at all. And I did see a cool suggestion, but it'd be a little harder to implement it than I'd like, which sucks. Which is like difficulty in like destinations or public events, or like world bosses that give certain loot that's specifically designated for public events. And it goes back to that whole thing I've been talking about this whole time about different core activities, right? You know, for example, strikes and Crucible and not PvP, and Gambit have this underlying fact of once you get to a certain point, you're basically just done. Like, you don't need to grind it anymore unless you're going for like a ranking among like the highest of the high on the game. You don't need to grind it that hard. Which begs the question, how would Bungie change like lost sectors, public events, and destinations? Well, firstly, if you do like you did with the Throne World and give us like things to do that are inside of the destination itself that are like mysteries and give us unique items, which the only really unique item it gave us was the glaives, because that's the only way to get the glaives is through doing all the missions on the throne world. But if you give us like that, or like specific armor sets that you have to go through these destinations, mind you, there are some of them like Wildwood and stuff like that that are a part of these vendors. For example, the Wildwood is Devrim K's armor set. You guys know that. If you guys have been following me on TikTok, I've been doing a series talking about these armor sets and of course showing them off with newer shaders. And in these series, I've gone through and been like, oh yeah, this one's easy to get because all I had to do is go talk to Devrim K. And again, it's a thing of, at this point, I do think Bungie is trying to play damage control with a lot of the assets that were left behind from their time with Activision, because you figure Failsafe and Devrim K are all things that were from the original release of Destiny 2. And so they're trying to figure out what to do with these, because as you've seen with like Witch Queen and things before it with Beyond Light, you know, Varix, and then certain other people have a different feel as a vendor than Devrim K and Failsafe, and that's the issue with it, is it's a system that they would fully need to rework, which I think people would gladly let them rework, seeming it's just not fun to do anything for like Devrim K unless you're bounty farming, and even then it's not really super good. But again, at the end of the day, the big issue here is Bungie need to put in something that isn't going to be done really easily. And what I mean by this is we need something that like gives rewards that are unique for a longer time than like a few, like maybe half, if not like a quarter of the season. Because like that's how I felt this season, is as soon as I got most of it done and got to the highest light, I feel like I don't have anything else left to do. And yeah, I could go like grind out like the Cry Mutiny skins, but I don't get why I would, you know? It's just one of those things. I feel like Bungie need to step up on the incentive part of all of the activities, because it seems like we're hitting a point where a lot of the community is wondering why they would need to grind an activity when, you know, the only thing that's prevalent right now is Catch Crash and expeditions and the pirate dens. You know, why would I need to grind strikes, you know? Or why would I need to grind Crucible or Lost Sectors or public events? You know, that's the big thing that gets a lot of people now, is that people are inviting me, but that's the thing that gets people now, is that these public events haven't been updated in years at this point. And there's no real reason to grind them. Now, yeah, you have to grind them if you want to get like a bunch of Glimmer. But again, there's no reason to put super amounts of effort in any of these. Because what am I going to get for doing a public event or a Lost Sector? Unless it's a Master Lost Sector or Legend one, I'm going to get a regular gun or a blue gun. There's no reputation behind it, no, you know, hidden gun behind it, no incentive. There's no incentive. And while I love Bungie to death, that is one thing that keeps popping up along the entirety of Destiny, is the incentive is missing. And saying that, oh, well, the seasonal stuff's gonna be incentive is not enough. Because let's be real, the seasonal stuff... Hold up, I gotta check something real quick, but the seasonal stuff is just out of whack. Especially the fact that you can get it done so, I guess, easily sometimes. Like, it's just weird, you know? And like, when I originally read this, I was like, oh, well, it's kind of making it more prevalent because that means people are gonna farm lost sectors in public events. But then you think about it and you're like, why? Like, other than Glimmer, what's your reasoning for farming regular lost sectors in public events? And honestly, I think if we had a rework of the season pass, I would say that, like, have it be like a reputation thing, right? And that reputation is based on things you do in the game. Like, for example, say you want to get a lot of reputation, and mind you, this could come with the revamp as well. But if you want to get a lot of reputations, it says, oh, hey, the double rep this week is lost sectors, right? Higher difficulty lost sectors, of course, rewards you more progress, but also there's a unique item for doing lost sectors. And that way you can actually work in a unique item for people to, you know, go for roles for, alongside the ability to play these type of content while progressing the season. And then, of course, yeah, you can have your actual season activities. But again, introducing something that gives you, you know, like double reputation along a certain activity could be a really good thing in the future. And then with like lost sectors, what you could do is make destination armor. And I know Bungie's getting their like ranks up and getting their people up, but I want to see them give unique armor to destinations. Mind you, it may not be like every single season, but like every like year or so when a DLC drops, I want to see them rotate out armor sets for these destinations. And then based on your, and then at that year reset, the reputation for the destinations reset. That way you can't just have someone who's already like level, you know, 100 on a reputation track to immediately get the new armor set. You know, you have to work for it. And also bring in some armor, or not armor, some weapons alongside that. And then there you go. You have an incentive for people to play. And you'll be like, oh, well, what about the end? What about the, you know, people who would be grinding this all the time? Easy. Make it so then there is a good role for the gun or the, like, armor, but you have to be a high level for it. You know, you have to be grinding rank up packages, kind of like factions, in order to find this higher level or higher tier version of this. And that's the thing is, and I might make a new video about like the weapon tier system, and maybe they need to rework it, because I feel like exotic and things like that, if we're gonna go into weapon crafting, I think eventually Bungie does need to pull the trigger on whether or not they want people to be able to craft, you know, a new type, like for example, have it be like exotic and then paracosial, you know, have a new rarity of weapon. But again, that causes issues, but maybe I'll make a new video about that. I have no idea. I know I'm going to try to do some No Man's Sky today for you, that should be up tomorrow on Sunday. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to leave that one there. If you guys did enjoy, hit the like button. Comment down below. What do you guys think they should do to public events and lost sectors and destination vendors? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss a video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.